Hey guys, so today we're going to talk about the best ways to hurt yourself in the gym. We've been doing this 16 years now, full time. We've had thousands and thousands of athletes come through our doors. Even right now, we got 350 members that train here. So we see people get hurt. This is part of being in the gym, it's part of doing hard things. Okay, but we kind of wanted to zone in on how do you get hurt. Okay, me and Todd were talking about this. We both agreed there's kind of 4 key things there. One is doing something you have not done regularly at a maximal effort. Okay. 2, excessive volume too soon. 3, ignoring what your body is telling you. And 4 is actually exercise specific. We'll kind of get to that towards the end. A little more, I guess, controversial. Okay. So the first one, doing something you haven't done regularly at a high intensity. We see this time and time again, especially anytime we introduce speed work or sprinting. All right, typically our speed work's done in the 50 to 200 meter range. We always tell people, hey, start off at like 70% and we'll progress to like 80 and then like 85 or 90, then 90 or 95 over like a 4-week block. So that way our bodies become accustomed to that fast, explosive movement. What we see time and time again is the guys who used to play field sports, football, baseball, basketball, are competitive guys. They're now in their 30s. They decide like, hey, today is a good day to race. And they're racing the person to their left or right, going to full 100%. The good old hamstring sniper gets them. Okay. You also can see issues in the calf and the Achilles tendon as well. All right. So sprinting, it's one of the examples we have. 1 rep maxing when you have not been training consistently in that lift. Okay. Working up to a heavy single, very different than a 1 rep max. A 1 rep max is an all-out effort where the possibility of failure is very real. It's there. Working up to a heavy single is just kind of seeing what you're generally capable of. So when we start a program, we usually start off with like a training max or working up to a heavy single, and then once we get done, 4, 8, 12 weeks later, then we'll do a true 1 rep max. Okay. If you are not training under heavy loads, do not do a 1 rep max. Third thing, jumping and throwing. Kind of falls in the same category as sprinting. Especially if you come from an athletic background, you're like, I'm going to try to do this broad jump as far as I can, box jump for height, whatever it may be. It's a very, very explosive movement, and if you haven't been doing it regularly, you should not try to do it maximally. All right. And the fourth aspect of this, doing something that you haven't done regularly at high intensity would be like maxed effort sets. So putting on a load, back squat, bench press, whatever it may be, and just repping it out all the way to failure. Okay. At some point, technique's going to go, and generally when technique goes, that's when we want to stop. Right? If you continue to push beyond that with compromised technique, the risk of injury is a very real thing. So you want to avoid that. Okay? This is especially true, all 4 of these things, especially true for older athletes, late 30s and in their 40s. All right? When you're 20, you can get away with this stuff. Right? When you get to my age, 45, you cannot break these rules because you will get hurt. All right? Second thing, excessive volume too soon. Applies in 2 specific categories. 1, running. I don't know how many athletes we've had. They're like, I want to do a half marathon. I want to do a marathon. They go out, they jump on a kind of generic training program, their volume ramps up very aggressively, and guess what? They get hurt, and oftentimes they can't even do the race. All right? We also see this, we have seen it in the gym, where we jump to a high volume on like muscular endurance or hypertrophy. So now anytime we do see like muscular endurance forecasted in the future, we try to build up to that volume. So we're not doing like something like a traditionally, let's say 4 rounds of 8 to 10, and then jumping up to like 4 rounds of 30. Okay? So we try to build up to that. Oftentimes this won't be manifested until like a few weeks into training, and a lot of times it's like an overuse type thing. So week 1 you're good, week 2 you're good, week 3 all of a sudden you're like, wow, I'm starting to feel this little thing in my elbow or my knee or my foot, and then as you continue to train, it gets worse and worse, and eventually you're gonna have to pull out. Okay. Third thing, ignoring what your body is telling you. If something hurts, don't push through it. All right. I know no matter what David Goggins says, right? Training smart is way more important than pushing through pain. Okay. There's a certain time to push through pain. Races, assessments, military selections. But if you're just in the gym training, you should not avoid, or I should say ignore, what your body is telling you. It's very easy to modify things and still get a great training stimulus. Okay? The last one I'd say is the best ways to hurt yourself in the gym, at least from our perspective, what we see is specific to an exercise, and that's the deadlift. I love the deadlift personally. I think it's a great exercise. Okay, but the downside of a deadlift is A, you can put yourself in very poor positions and continue to attempt to lift and pick up heavy weight. It's also one that most people assume is not very technically demanding. Just pick the thing off the ground. And you can end up pulling or attempting to pull much more weight than your body's capable of. Okay, or I should say capable of safely. Unless you're a power lifter or a competitive CrossFit athlete, there's really not too much reason to like go into a true 1 rep max deadlift. Right now, 20 years ago, I would have told you something totally different. But this is from the perspective of someone who owns a gym and coaches a lot of athletes. And honestly, from a business perspective, I want my athletes to be able to continue to train. So if they get hurt, they're no longer a member, that hurts the business, okay? Also, no one likes to hurt their back. It's awful. I did it my first time, I think in high school powerlifting, okay? Did not properly warm up, hurt my back. It still bothers me to this day. Okay, so 4 ways, or says it common ways. I titled it the best ways to hurt yourself in the gym. These are things that we've learned over the past 16 years that hopefully will keep you from getting hurt in the gym. All right, guys, train hard, stay safe.